Hello everyone, welcome to Rocky Sewing. Today we'll be looking at how to cut this flare sleeve for an off-shoulder dress. Like you can see, this top now is a peplum top. You can see the flare. So what is left for us to do now is to cut the sleeve. So when you are cutting an off-shoulder dress, you need the shoulder measurement, you need the round shoulder measurement. So we are going to do some calculation before we start cutting the sleeve. So the round shoulder measurement I'm making use of is 40 inches and the shoulder measurement is 13. So when I'm sewing an off shoulder dress, as the shoulder measurement is 13, I'm going to reduce it by 2 inches. So that means I'll be having 11 both at the front and at the back. So when you add those two together, front and back, is going to give you 22. So this 22 now, we are going to remove it from the round shoulder measurement so that we'll be left with the measurement for the sleeve. So this 40 now minus 22 is going to give us 18. So this 18 inches now is for the two sleeves. So that means we have to divide into two so that we can cut each sleeve. We can get the measurement for one sleeve. So that's 18 divided by 2 now is going to give us 9. But because we're going to need ½ inch to join the sleeve to the dress on both sides, so I'm going to add 1 inch to this 9. So this 9 inches plus 1 is going to give us 10 inches. So this 10 inches is going to be the circumference for the flare I want to cut for the sleeve. So the 10 inches are circumference, then we determine the length of the sleeve. So that these are the things we are going to need while cutting our sleeve right now. So like I explained, that when I'm cutting an off shoulder dress, I reduce the shoulder measurement by 2 inches. This is supposed to be the shoulder of the dress, which is almost together with the neck because it's an off shoulder dress. So because I reduced the shoulder by 2 inches, the shoulder was supposed to be 13. On a normal day I would have added 1 inch to that 13 to have 14, but because I reduced it by 2 inches, so that means I'm left with 11. So 11 plus 1 inch is what I'm going to have here now, which is 12 inches. So that by the time we finish sewing the dress, we'll be left with that 11 inches. And you might ask why I'm reducing the shoulder because I'm off shoulder. We are reducing the shoulder because we don't want the sleeve to come to the front too much, to enter too much. So you might have seen some people like that. I'll be wondering why the dress is like that. This shoulder side of the dress should not be too close to the sleeve, it should not be entering your armpits, rather the sleeve should come out. So that's why I'm reducing the shoulder measurement by 2 inches. So we have 12 now, but by the time I finish sewing it, that means I'll be left with 11 at the front, 11 at the back, and that is why we have 11 plus 11, that's 22. So is that 22 now that we remove from the round shoulder measurement. When you take a round shoulder measurement, you are measuring the shoulder both front and back together with the sleeve, together with that part of the hand, everything is measured together. So now that we have removed both front and back shoulder from the round shoulder measurement, we are left with 9 inches for each of the sleeves, that is 18 together. 9 inches. So that 9 now plus 1, that's how I used to cut each of the sleeves. So I'm going to be working with 10 for the circumference of the flare, then we determine the length. So let's get to work. So I said I'll be working with 10 inches. And when you are folding, it's going to be a 360 degree. This is what I'm using. I'll fold it into two first. So after folding it into two, when you are folding the 360 degree flare, all the four sides have to be equal. So I'm having 10 inches here. I'll still measure 10 inches on this side, then fold it like so. So that means the four sides now are 10 inches. But that's the highest I can get from this folding. Because after the first fold, I folded the material into two, gave me 10 inches. So that's the highest I can get with the available fabric. So then don't forget that the circumference that we are working here with is 10 inches. But all I need is 10 inches. But the material is folded into 4. And that's why I have to divide my 10 inches by 4. Dividing the 10 inches by 4 is going to give us 2.5. So in order to avoid too much of calculation around here, you can just fold your tape and make a small curve around there and look for where you can get your 2.5. So like right now, like the way I folded it now, you can see the curve. So I have my 2.5 here. So I'll mark it. Then I'll mark it on both sides. So I'm going to measure what I have there. I'm having 1.5. So I did that 1.5 all around to get a perfect curve. I'm going to have my 1.5 all around. So I'll measure it to be sure that I still have that 2.5. It is no more than that. If it's not 2.5 that I need, there is no equal. There's that 2.5 that I need. I can increase it. Instead of marking that 1.5, now I can decide to mark 2 inches. If it is too much, you can reduce what you have. Instead of 1.5, you can mark maybe 1.25 or 1 inch, depends on what you have after you measure it. So I'm going to measure it now. And by what I measure here now, I have exactly 2.5 that I needed. So the next thing will be the length of the sleeve itself, the length of the flare. So I'm going to be using 7 inches for the length. So that means from this curve that I mark now, I'm going to mark 7 inches. But to have a perfect cut easily, so these 7 inches I mark from here, from this line that we marked before to this way is 7 inches. So if I should mark it together from up, remember we'll mark 1.5 from here to this place. So from here to here is 1.5, from here to here is 7 inches. So altogether I have 8.5. So I'm going to take that 8.5 all round. Mark it all around. 8.5 inches. And this one is 8. So 8.5 here. Take it all around like that. So a perfect curve. So I have the length of the flare here. I'm going to cut that out. Then I'm going to cut this one too out. This is going to be the armhole side. Then I'll open it. So by the time we open it, we needed 9 inches for the sleeve. So, and I'm supposed to have 10 here now. That is 5 on 4 to be 10. Okay. So what I will do now, like when we cut the dress from the beginning, I have the dress with 3.5 inches. I have it with 3.5 inches. Then, assuming I did not reduce the shoulder measurements, I'm going to work with the exact shoulder measurement from my armhole. So the shoulder measurement was 13 inches. So 13 inches divided by 2 is 6.5. If I'm to make use of my exact shoulder measurement, that means when I have my clothes folded into 2, this 6.5 now plus half will be 7. Then the armhole will be now 7.5. That is what you mark on your shoulder measurement. That is, let's say this is the dress. From the folded side here, you have 6.5 plus half, which is 7. So from here to here is 7 inches. And for the armhole, it's going to be 7 inches plus half. And it's going to be 7.5. And that is what we have here. So now I have the dress with 3.5 inches. So 3.5 to get 7.5 is going to be my armhole on the dress. So I'm still going to trim this armhole. I'll trim it again. And the same thing is what I'm going to do on the sleeve. So we can measure again now in case there is even excess. We needed 10 inches, that's 5. So that by the time I sew it, I'll be left with 4.5. So I have my 5 inches here. So is it 5 inches now that I'm going to use the way I cut the armhole on the dress is the same way I'm going to cut it here. So I'm going to off it by 3 inches, 3.5 inches rather. Then mark 7.5. Let's see. and I have my hand hole there. I'm going to cut it out. Then open this place. Then I have my sleeve. That's it now. So my sleeve. So do the same thing for the second one. I'm going to cut the other one like that. Then after I must have trimmed my armhole again, let me trim it. So I will see how it's going to look like. Yeah, whatever I have here is what I'm going to have here as well. Also this more allowance that's remaining inside. Then fix my sleeve. Yeah, fix it on the armhole. That's so. So we have something like this. So it's going to be like that. Thanks for watching. If you have found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. Thank you.